bom dia. Bom vir na nosso training já. Eu Joseph, presidente da Fundação Politur. Nós temos uma iniciativa aqui para nós saber que é curso e training aqui e nós escolhemos para dar uma oportunidade a mais tanto membro possível de corpo policial. Então, nós não limitamos unicamente na Politur, mas nós ampliamos a mais tanto é possível de corpo policial. I'd like to welcome also our people from Miami Police Department. It's great to have you all here. Okay, I know for sure that you will be delivering a very good training to our people. Okay, it's important also to mention that if there are any questions during the training, that it is possible to address our people from Miami in both Spanish or English. So, lo cual más conveniente o más cómodo de ello o por dirigir libremente na nos Agentenan for Miami. Também para me apresentar a persona nos tiene ang Sr. José Pérez, o Commander, es un Major, es un encargado ng cabeça de training department de Miami Police. Anto me tiene aquí dos trainer más de Miami, señores Anthony Rivera, okay, anto ko señor the number, señor Frank Rizano. Okay, so welcome again. Also nos tiene aquí señor Carmelo de Stefano, señor Carmelo de Stefano. Es un cintura de contacto necessário na Miami, de modo que me exporta que na parte semana passada, caminha nós lá nos missa cintura de contacto para base, fundamento forte, de modo que no futuro também nós conseguimos contar com a cooperação de Miami. Pessoa para não olvidar, sentada na matéria de mesa, o senhor Frank Rubio, pessoa unicamente lá nos missa persona American business the PR man from Miami. Okay? The presidente da Fundação para ele la história de contato não valioso na Miami que ajuda nos também hobby tem um processo para chegar na cooperação com Miami Police Department. Mas não bisa essa que já início nós temos para ter na tour 4 dias de training em local essa que vai estar Awe, Jaluna e Jamars, e Miami Josquet, Loting e parte, o que se denomina como field training, caminha, entre outros, é outro de polícia novo, o acabei de recentemente, nós temos Ekspertonan aqui por Duna, nós vimos indicação na também conta de melhor maneira para drive e outro. Assim, nós temos mais training on the field de curso de Miami, tanto de parte do trabalho como parte do Misanta esse, me quero passar a palavra para o nosso ministro de Justiça, o senhor Nelson Navarro, que vai ter uma introdução e vai desejarmos a questão de treino. Senhor Navarro.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Very welcome our guests from Miami and senhor Stefano número de classes, Fundação e sua iniciativa para ser as classes. Permit me to address my police officers in our native language. Dames en heren, bom dia. Para mim é prazer para haver aqui na Duna. E ideia está também agora explicar calma, com usando bem treino. Mas a ideia não está para conseguir que algo de momentâneo. Nossa intenção no Ministério de Justiça está para uma base regular e contínua, nós seguir, seguindo no treino, só para nós, o policial, pela onde o policial não faz melhor no Caribe. E esse aí, exato quando quer que o mundo optimismo, eu não sei que houve bom polícia aqui na pessoa. Se vou atrás do Caribe, exato a Camerão, tudo isso no Caribe aqui. Não, se o rapaz não pode parar, como não precisa apreciar, não espera o policial. Claro que pode ter sua deficiência, não. Claro que pode ter seu problema, não. Pero, ao mirar, nós temos bom polícia na pessoa aqui. E polícia com dedicação, com motivação. Simplesmente, não precisa só, porque queda ter motivação. queda tiene dedicación, solo conociendo que da por un treintam. La que se está ahí afán de gobierno aquí y no nombre del Ministerio de Justicia, me queda deseamos un buen éxito de Diana Tupin. No que tener largo, sobre naturalmente, pues viene con training, no para escuchar la justicia, tiene discurso más largo, no es una falta pero me deseamos un par de días, muy fructífero, tanto muy exitoso, y nosotros seguiremos también quitando, que espero que lo opinión más tiempo, más nada que nos haga el show.
I won't speak Papiamento because my Papiamento is terrible. I will speak in English. I would like to just make a small recognition on behalf of myself, my family, and the Caribbean International University and the World Trade Center to Mr. Ruben Santana, who's sitting on the extreme right. He's the person who actually helped this happen. The gentleman that came in here, the Major Perez and the two officers to my right, form part of one of the biggest police departments in the United States. They have over 1,000 men, and they have under the commandment of Mr. Manny Perez, who's the corps chief, who will be here maybe in a few weeks. Actually, they have managed to lower the crime rate in Miami, which is something that is really thankful for the effort of their training. So we think it's important that we get to share this, and I hope that you give them a warm Curacao welcome and a great experience. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's just really great to be here with you guys. Thank you. We're very happy to be here today. Thank you for the Minister of Justice, to the chiefs, and to you guys, all police officers. We're here. Our training consists of a little bit of everything. We put together training based on when Chief Joseph Jose Miami, we went over. Our training includes a little bit of everything. We got a little bit about criminal investigation, a little bit about control techniques, a little bit about professionalism and ethics. It's basically a training that we give our officers. It's like an introduction type of training. It's about 30 hours. We can go back with. I mean, we don't come here with the whole truth, with the gospel. We don't, it's like we know about police work. It's cyclical. Crime goes up and down, and all we can do is train our officers the best we can to go out there and do the best job that we can for the community. And that's basically what we're here for. We know we're not going to be. You guys are going to be learning a little bit from us. We're going to be learning a little bit from you guys. That's just the nature of police. So we're really happy to be here, and expect to get to know you guys much better. Thank you.
Podium there. I'd like to come out and just talk to you guys a little bit. Just a little bit overview of what's going to happen. We're going to show you, and if you don't understand the English, my Spanish is okay. Don't laugh at me when I start saying things in Spanish. I'm from Cuba. Came when I was 4 years old to the United States, so my Spanish is kind of bad. My mom always laughs at me because of the things I say or try to say in Spanish. But I don't care. We're police officers. Whatever question you have, whatever issue it is, bring it to us. There's a lot of knowledge in this room right here. Okay? We don't know everything. Okay? And I'm not trying to tell you that we know everything. Okay? But experience in police work is a lot. Okay? And that's what we're going to bring to you guys. At any time, if there's any questions about anything, off topic of what we're talking about, or about anything, we don't mind answering the question. We don't mind you getting us outside and asking us, hey, I didn't want to ask in front of these people this, but how do you handle this situation? Okay? We don't mind answering the question. We know that this is a tourist location, so it's a little different stuff. Miami brings in a lot of tourism, but we also bring in a lot of crime. Okay? So again, we're going to work with you guys, whatever issues you guys have. Don't be afraid to ask us, okay? We're going to start off with basically an overview of what Miami was back then, okay? Back in the early 80s, 90s to the present, okay? And I'll show you how bad Miami was at that time and the things that we did to try to make things better in Miami. It's an unfinished business. Crime evolves, police work has to evolve. Technology has to evolve. Sometimes we're limited in our technology. and sometimes you guys are limited in what you guys can do. But you became police officers for one reason. You want to help citizens. You want to put bad people in jail so they don't hurt other people. If you're here for any other reason, then you're in the wrong profession. Okay? If you're here for money, wrong profession. Okay? There's a lot of other places that you can do to make a lot more money than in police work. So it has to be a passion that comes inside of you. It has something that you want to do. Okay? So I'm hoping that everyone in here is here for the right reasons. My responsibility at the police academy, I supervise the drill instructors. Drill instructors are military guys, those people that wear the hats and yell and scream at the recruits. You guys seen those movies? I'm in charge of those guys. Okay? Our academy is hardcore. We have 2 or 3 people that quit that first day because they can't handle the yelling and the screaming and the stress level that we put them through. We put them through a lot of stress. The first day, it's a lot of stress. That moment they decide, it's not for me, I'll go somewhere else. Because the citizens are going to stress you out much more than we are. And if you can't handle us, you're not going to be able to handle that citizen that gets in your face and says stupid things to you guys. Okay? So you got to have that demeanor where you can handle people saying negative things towards you and still conduct yourself as a professional the entire time. So that's the stress level we put them through. I'm also in charge of the testing, all the testing in the academy. Prior to this, I was a school teacher. Okay, I taught school for like 10 years, and like I told you that, I decided to get a safer job and became a cop. So that's one of the reasons I became a cop. And all the physical training, all the.
Minsan normalmente partimenta contigo difícil para Agentenan. E caso aqui sin embargo não tem outra choice de assim partimenta. Pero me também tomo nota assim com da vez a televisão teve também a televisão televisão de excellence que me indi lo toquei sombra nostro solo para todo outro media um comunicado de conferência. Ok, dus a intenção de conferência de imprensa aqui está, a comissão de departamento para nós dar informação sobre a importância de training para tomar lugar para membros do corpo policial de Porção. Agora estamos por tomar nota de que sabe que banda de acreditador de 100 membros do corpo policial de Porção para assistir no training do NAPA Training Nacional de Miami Police Department. Okay? A intenção está para ajudar em upgrading de polícia de Porção dentro do sentido de palavra. Esse é um training muito diversificado com a cobertura área de polícia. Okay? Esse é uma parte importante disso. Okay? Esse é eigenlijk gewoon van mij laten we Duna opportunidade. Eigenlijk na major José Pérez uta bisa na cabeça de training department, police department, de Miami Police Department, de modo que nós por laten we Duna uma explicação que é training também será. Da bom para tomar nota também de mais cedo não pode sentar na mesa aqui não. Stefano, aqui no Trade Center Porção, nós temos a mencionar o senhor José Pérez, nós temos o senhor Ministro de Justiça, Mr. Nelson Navarro, nós temos o senhor Frank Rubio, nós temos em Miami também uma foundation que trabalha muito close com o corpo policial na Miami, e nós temos o senhor Júlio Hilário, que no momento aqui encarregado com a arquitetura de Politur, ok? Agora, me passo a palavra para o senhor José Pérez, por eigenlijk dar uma explicação que é curso, é training, etc. José, can you give some details with regard to the training that we are having at this moment? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. The training we roll it's introductory training covers a little bit of everything that we, after we met with you, sir, all the topics that we thought was important. It's part of the training that we teach our own officers in the city of Miami, and includes it's divided in blocks. We got patrol techniques, criminal investigations, professionalism and ethics. We go over how to defuse situations, how to deal with the citizens and with the tourists. So the training is it covers a little bit of everything that we teach our officers at the academy. How to deal with a diverse community, and how to deal with the tourists in a big city.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, I will pass the word now to our Minister of Justice, Mr. Navarro.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tenho aqui o realizar com nós a começar com o projeto de Politur. Caminha dentro do policialmente de uma entidade diretamente da dirigir mês de área turística e proteção de turistas. Naturalmente, não está incluído também proteção de Agentenan, mas focus também na área turística, porque algo sucede com o local também escrito. Politur alanta e naturalmente maneira sempre também não pessoa de começar algo pouco a pouco cristalizar até se cresce e nós mira que nós temos mesmo vezes plano e que já nós está completamente de importância com o que nós apoia com nós lo arrasi nós temos Politur na Mambo, nós temos Politur aqui na community e nós temos Politur na Ekspertonan. E gradualmente nós vamos estender inteiro trabalho em diferentes áreas turísticas. Nós somos muito agradecidos ao senhor Stefano por apoiar o contato com a polícia de Miami. Nós agradecidos também nas duas pessoas na cidade de Duna, ajudando-nos com o povo de Miami, caminhando com Nanda Beisoro, para ir para um base contínuo também, nós podemos treinar, não somente para a polícia de Politur, mas também para todo outro ângulo de interessar de receber training, intercambiar ideia e só para o cometimento de criminalidade. Nós estamos também de outro, sobre nós como bom polícia pessoal, e sempre acabei de falar aqui, mas para bom comportar sempre é para vir melhor. E sempre está bom para compartilhar experiência com o outro. E nós estamos aqui de parte de Miami Police Force e asseguramento que não ajuda-nos também em training e não compartilhar na experiência com o nosso corpo para nós podemos virar mais melhor. Essa é a ideia e mais enfatizar também se é político bem training, a ideia não está momento de treino depois acaba. A ideia está para um base contínuo, não siga treino sendo só para acaparar a experiência, para Duna serviço ótimo ao povo de pessoa e garantizar a segurança da pessoa aqui. Não somente para turistas, mas para nós no local, no primeiro lugar, todos os visitantes que nós pedimos para visitar-nos, só para nós cumprir a segurança durante o direito de viver. Essa é a ideia.
Mr. Navarro, thank you. Sir Stefano, how would you want to address?
Very quick. I would just like to thank all of you for coming. I will speak in English for respect of our guests. The World Trade Center and the Caribbean International University are extremely happy to host this event. From the city of Miami, Mr. Ruben Santana has been the person that has made this possible with the cooperation of Mayor Perez, under the blessing of the Chief of Police of the City of Miami, Mr. Mani, and under the blessing of the Mayor of the City of Miami, who will be shortly in the next weeks probably visiting us here in our beautiful island. From the part on behalf of Curacao, I would like to thank first of all Minister Navarro, who had personal enthusiasm in making this happen, and Mr. Josefa, who also came to meet the facilities that Mayor Perez here presides, and also had personal input in having this day come into a conclusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stefano. I would like to give the opportunity to Mr. Santana to
Well,
address.
we have the City of Miami Mayor, Mario Galao, and the Chief of Police, Manuel Rosa. We want to make sure that the minister understands that we'll keep coming back anytime you want it back. This training will be continued. It's just not just the beginning, and we'll leave it back. They'll both be visiting the island and meeting the ministers, and Mr. Stefano here, and we want to make sure that whatever system, technically wise, professionally wise, you have a family down in Miami, and we can be brothers in this and continue helping each other, because we'll learn from one another. We didn't come here to teach you, we come here to learn too. And that's what we want you guys to receive, that we are here just to enjoy forces with you. And we have a big city, yes we do. We have a large police department, 1,200 members. We have tourism is one of our main business. I mean, everyone goes to Miami at one time or another. And we deal with a lot of problems, violent crimes. And we deal with it every day. And we learn by making mistakes and being trained, and we keep improving on training every time. Crime moves on and gets better. We need to get better with it. The knowledge helps. And that's why we're here, and that's why we want to give you whatever we have learned before you face the problem we have faced. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Santana. I just like to give the opportunity to Mr. Hilario, with the Chief of Politur at this moment, that to address you also. Sure.
Okay, I want to thank our colleagues from Miami for being here. We are very happy you're here. Very happy you want to give us some of your experience. We talked yesterday, and we have many plans for in the future to interact. You provided us all your support, so in the future you will come to the island and train our officers. So we are very happy and very glad that we can cooperate also with police organizations in the Caribbean, in the US, especially Miami now. So also Europe, and now in Miami. So we're very glad, happy, and want to say Bumbi to you all.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, people of the press. If you may have any question you wanted to, yes?
I don't know who can answer it, but my question is this. How do you protect the tourists? Do you protect the tourists to make sure that they don't go on the streets and wear expensive jewelry, or do you ensure that they don't get robbed? Is it something that you give explanation to the tourists, or make sure that nobody's there to rob them? Can you tell a little more about how that works?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. How do we protect the tourists? That's just $60,000 question. I know it's a trial and error. It takes, we got our community development section who's always advertising, we telling the tourists, we're giving them tips, make sure you don't leave your car with the windows open. Make sure you don't leave, for the ladies with expensive glasses, don't leave them there, because they're criminals who are always gonna be walking around, they're gonna break the window. So we always pass the information. It's a multi-layer. We pass on TV to the kids in the school, community meetings. We pass out flyers to the community. That's one. The second one, when we have tourists, we keep a strong police force, strong police visibility. We have what we call beat units, officers that are assigned. We know we get 2 blocks. There's clubs or restaurants where the tourists go, and they go there at night. We try to double our police staff in that area to be vigilant, to be visible. We have cameras in those areas too, and we train those officers. We tell them, you're dealing with tourists, and they're here, they come to visit, they're spending their money with us, so let's be helpful, let's help them. We're there. We know if anything we can do to help them, we will help them. We don't want them to become victims. At the same time, if something happens in the restaurant, a problem with language, we're there like ambassadors to try to mediate the problem and make sure that,
Because you also work like with the tourist office, and it's more departments that work together to protect the tourists.
There's areas in the cities where we have most tourists, like downtown Miami, Coconut Grove, different areas around. In those areas, we got different commanders that are in charge of those areas, and they know the tourists is very, very important to make sure we keep them safe. It's something bad happens to a tourist, it's bad publicity for everybody. They put it all over the news in all the countries. Tourists stop coming. I mean, Miami, we receive the last number that I checked, it was over $7 million visitors every year. So tourists is very important, and in the past we have problems. You guys probably seen it with tourists in Miami, but it's a never ending, because sometimes the tourists too, they go 5 o'clock in the morning, they're drunk. Things happen, so we always try to educate them and help them and work with them.
Thank you.
You need to understand that the criminal is like an officer. He's trained to be a criminal. He takes advantage of whatever witness you show him. So you have to be very careful when you have the tourists come in, because they go to the wrong area, and that's when they get hurt. They get lost and end up in an area, and then anyone who is a professional criminal is spot the tourists a mile away. They know they don't belong there, and they get robbed. We have people got killed in our city. Tourists, yeah. They went to a different neighborhood, and a bad neighborhood, they made a mistake. They were driving on their own, and they got robbed, and one of them got killed.
Locally, that was many, many years ago.
There you go. You have it.
Lately, we've been good.
That was that national publicity. It was all over the So when something like that happens, it affects your country.
Do you work together with other Caribbean islands?
We work with other.
Caribbean islands? Or is Curacao the first?
No, in Caribbean Island, we have visitors from all the islands actually having a train interchange. Curacao is the first.
The first, like with this corporation?
Yeah, with this corporation. We do training all and down the continent. We got teams all the time traveling to Brazil, Argentina. We got officers that come to our academy all the time. But Caribbean, we had officers visiting from all the Caribbean islands, but we never have the interchange that we have right now.
Okay.
This is great.
And then one question, I don't know, maybe the minister or something. Why did Curacao get that good connection with Miami? Why Curacao?
You know, I already answered this question, because it's due to Mr. Stefano and his connections in Miami that we have the opportunity right now to have them here on the island and train into our police officers. We're very grateful for that. And of course, that is a continuous process. That's what we're going to do. And we are depending, of course, of the people in Miami, how to handle this training for us. Because, of course, it is a point that we have to make in our community, that we can do a lot of things on our own, but with the help of others, we can do much more. That's a statement we make.
Additional to that, I can say that Politur Curacao is very proactive. Okay, so we are not sitting still. We are making our movements to let Curacao, Politur Curacao, become very big, very successful. So as Mr. has mentioned, it's a way of cooperation that has given the result of very good cooperation between WTC Curacao and Politur Curacao, and as a result of that, the cooperation with Miami Police.
Sorry, I have a question. I'm going to switch in papimento for the minister. Nós temos o congresso aqui para Politur, para dar mais experiência de terreno aqui. Conta para a situação de câmara não começar também para reforçar Politur de sítio turístico.
Esse aí está projeto que nós estamos vários tempos passar, caminhando por a China, para mirar o sistema pode funcionar. Agora que nós assinamos o internet está no vídeo para localmente mirar como vai atender a situação. Mas explicar também a publicidade acaba com nós em primeira fase, para incluir uma outra banda e a parte histórica só de área turística na Polimambo e na Piscadeira vai. E essa é a primeira fase. Agora que nós temos uma visão para assim, localmente, exatamente estúdio técnico, quando vai atender com ele, para depois que falo para instalar na pouco estender na segunda fase da roda. Essa é a ideia.
Okay.
Okay, are there some other questions? Okay, if that's not the case, I'd like to thank you for your assistance. Okay, the idea is...